Before we start today's video, if you would like to join my Discord server, link will be in the description and will also be in a pinned comment. And we have now upgraded the server, so now there's roles that I can give you and we've even added emojis to it, so we've obviously stepped it up a bit. So if you would like to join, description and pinned comment. Let's go. What's up guys, welcome back to another video. This is the mini Paceman JCW. JCW obviously standing for John Cooper Works. This is basically the mini Paceman, but JCW obviously put their magic onto this, so let's just see how it is. Now here is a standard Paceman, which honestly, the Paceman wasn't really needed and sales were poor anyway, so definitely not worth it in the end. Now a rival to this Paceman would be something like the 3-door Range Rover Evoque, sort of small 3-door crossover coupe things that aren't really necessary and I don't really like. And because I don't like it, spoiler alert, I'm not going to be nice on this. So, anyway, into the review. So, when it comes to the exterior, this is where the meanness starts. The front, it just looks a bit bland, and the bits that aren't bland, let's look at that grille for example. Does it remind you of something? It reminds me of something. Oh, what is it? Oh, what is it? That's it. It's the mustache on Tom Selleck. I'm sorry Tom Selleck, but it does. It looks just like you. It's not great. The side profile, well, it's a 3-door crossover SUV thing, and frankly it doesn't matter if it's the Paceman, the Evoque, or some other 3-door crossover SUV thing, it's not going to look good at all. So frankly, this is not personally Mini's fault, but just 3-door coupe SUV's fault. And the rear, well, I feel like it's lacking something, but it's not really, there's stuff there. I mean, you got humongous mini badge for some reason, you got Paceman written out, 2 big exhausts with that black bumper, you obviously got your normal lights and the red stripes, but I feel like it's just bland at the same time. I don't know, I honestly don't know. The interior, well, there's a few bits to this. So obviously you got your humongous circle right in the centre where your speedometer is. Now you'll notice it goes around and it's a little spike that goes around with it instead of one whole large speedometer like it used to be. And you obviously got your sat nav in between it, which is obviously a good feature and it's a place to put it. Now one good thing is that in front of you is the rev counter, but there's a little display below it that also shows your speed. And when you're on a track, not that you're going to put this thing on a track, but when you're in sporty mode, your brain is, then you obviously got your speed and your revs right in front of you and you don't need to look anywhere else, and that is a really good feature for when you are completely track focused. Something I don't like is that some of the controls are very low down. Obviously you're not separated from the passenger, which means that controls are allowed to be quite low down, and that means you're going to have to look quite a bit down. But something that is also quite cool and that you may not notice, if you look carefully, you'll see a circle and you'll see 3 what looks like wings coming out. That is reminiscent of the mini badge. That is something a lot of people may not know specifically. So, the performance. It has a 1.6 litre inline 4-cylinder with a turbo, 214 horsepower and 207 pound-feet of torque. This is the same BMW PSA engine that is also found in the normal hatch version. It has 4-wheel drive and it weighs 1,420 kilograms, which is quite a lot to be honest. And it does come with a 6-speed manual or an automatic option. Now 0 to 60 is 6.6 seconds, which isn't so sprightly, and top speed is 140 miles an hour. Now the hatch version has a bit less power, but it also weighs a lot less, and that means performance is a whole lot better. So frankly, this weight is just holding it back. The practicality? Well, the boot is 330 litres big, which frankly is decent enough for me. It's a lot bigger than the hatch version, so I guess that's alright. But however, the rear is quite cramped considering it's like a coupe style, so legroom isn't great and headroom is also quite tight. And you have this weird bar that goes across the 2 seats with 2 cup holders. The cup holder feature, that's great. That bar, I don't know. I don't know how to feel about that, if I'm being brutally honest with you. It's something that I cannot explain. It looks like a rail, scaffolding even. But either way, the handling. So obviously the car is bigger than the hatchback, and it also weighs a lot more than the hatchback. And it's also based on the car that I'll explain in anything else. So I know you're probably thinking, wow, this car sucks when it comes to handling, because I've just made it out as if it's the worst handling car in the world. However, that's not completely true. Obviously, John Cooper Works has obviously done some magic, put that in quotations on it, so obviously it's not the worst thing you've ever driven. It does ride decently well when it comes to ride quality and comfort, and the actual driving experience is not too bad. It's not what you expect, but it's not too bad. And it's got four-wheel drive as well, which means that there is quite a bit of grip, and especially in the rain. It's going to be better than the hatch in the rain, because it's got four-wheel drive, so that is obviously a good feature. The driving itself, I would say, it is decent enough. It's just a sporty crossover, really. That's really all there is to it. You don't really drive this car to, I don't know, on a track. I know it's got John Cooper on it, and I know it's got more than 200 horsepower, but still not really. But you know, if you want to drive it around the corner, then you know it's not going to be the worst experience of your life. Is there anything else worth noting? And here is the car. It is basically a mini Countryman, but with 3 doors. That's really all this car is. And here comes a shocking bit. When it came out, back when it did, it cost nearly £30,000. I'm sorry. For that, I know you get a bit more of a car than the hatch, but you get cramped rear seats like the hatch. You may get a bigger boot, yes, but performance is also not that great, and obviously handling is not that great, and obviously you got your 4-wheel drive system, which obviously adds stuff to it. Frankly, if I'm honest, the hatch is just much more of a viable option. Like I said, the hatch is faster, and because it's faster, it's probably more economical because of the weight, which is the weight that's causing the problem with this Paceman. It looks a lot better than the Paceman, it sure does. It's probably the best looking mini hatch there is, besides the old classic ones. And it also has cramped seats in the back. Only proper downside is you can't really enjoy it properly in the rain because it hasn't got 4-wheel drive, unless you're really experienced, and the boot is titchy. But it's just better, I'm sorry, this is just a much more viable option. It just is, I'm sorry. But anyway, enough of me ranting. What is the verdict? Well, it has a decently sized boot, it handles decently well, the 4-wheel drive system means in wet weather there can be quite a bit of fun to be had. The small gauge offers easy access to info when sporty driving, that's the one in front of the driver. However, the cons are, the exterior styling is questionable, it really is. The rear seats can be cramped, it is shockingly expensive, some interior controls are quite low down, very low down in fact. The weight holds back the performance potential, like I said, it's very heavy and it's quite a bit slow. And the hatch just seems a more viable option, I'm sorry. The hatch is probably cheaper, same price or more expensive, either way, it's probably more worth it than this. But anyway, that concludes my review of the mini Paceman JCW. If you would like to check out my main channel... Oh, bye-bye. Or not.
Darren, you're stupid.
Yeah, we can see.
Oh. No, Darren!
No, he's not okay. He's a bloody idiot. Then I will leave a link to that in the description below. Now, this is next week's car. Let me know what it is in the comments below. And speaking of comments, if you would like to let me know what car you want reviewed, then you can also leave that in the comments below. And you can also tell me within my Discord server, description and comments. And I'll see you guys in next week's video. Peace.